Now that our Python is up, so what we can type next is from sympy, that we are trying to call the sympy function. From sympy import star. I told you that this importation is like importing all those they say packages or dependencies in sympy. You're just importing all of them. So now the first thing we have to do after doing that is to define a symbol. So we say x equals symbols open bracket x, then you close bracket. After we have defined our symbols, the next thing we have to do is to define the equations. So we will do E standing for equation. E is equals to EQ open brackets. Now we are going to define the equation. The equation here that we are solving, it's going to be a quadratic equation. So this equation will be x raised to power 2, but here will be star. The star 2, sympy will understand it as raised to power 2 minus 5x. So that 5x is going to be 5 times x. That's why to understand that is 5x plus 6. Then after that, quadratic equation is always equal to 0 at most cases, but here to define the equation you use comma 0. By so doing, sympy will understand that you mean equals to 0. You click enter, then S, which is for solve, we are now saying solve open brackets E. We are saying solve E. That E was what we're defining that equation. So we now say solve E comma x. That's the symbol that we did define before now. So now this has been completed, but for you to see it, you have to use the print function. You say print open bracket S. Let's close the bracket and see what answer it will give us. We hit enter. It says 3, 2, 3. So that's the answer, guys. See you next time. Expressions using sympy. It is a form of algebraic operation. So it simplify expression. After that there is expand expressions. After that there is factor expressions. So if you are conversant with algebraic operations, you will understand what this means. If you are not still good to learn, in case you have to solve any algebraic operations, that is part of this. Alright, let's get started. Start your Python first. As I said, Python. Then import the sympy library from sympy import star. That is good. So now we have to define the symbols x, y. Okay, before now, I don't know, should I give you people the equations first so that you can follow along? This is the equation that we want to solve. The equation we want to solve is this. Open brackets x, I would say raised to power 2. Let me type it like this so that you get raised to power 2 plus 2 2x plus 1. This is the equation we intend to solve here. Close brackets. Then all over open brackets x plus 1. Close the bracket. This is the equation we want to simplify. If you type this directly into your sympy and enter, it's not going to do it. It's going to give you error like this, as you have seen. There is error there. There is error here. It's in syntax error. Alright, good. So for now we don't care about that. So now let's get over and see the proper way of solving it. We will now call the symbols first. In sympy basic operations, you have to call the symbol first. X comma y equals symbols. This is basically the way of doing this. If you get this and get this straight, you should be able to do any operations that you want to do with this sympy. You close it. Now I've defined my symbols x and y. Now next thing that I need the expression. So I use this. I can still use E for expression. If you are conversant with Python, you can name things. It doesn't really matter what the name is for now. E is equals to, I open bracket. E is equals to, I open bracket. X star 2 plus 2 star x. If you're asking why was the first one double star is actually raised to power. All right, we need this. That's all over. We open bracket x plus 1 close bracket. All right, now we are going to use s underscore e. That s is standing for simplified expression. So s underscore e. I told you here we can name anything. Hopefully, yeah, should be able to name anything. But here you have to use the right way of calling it. Simplify open brackets e. So what was the question of this equation? We were asked to simplify the expression, and the expression is the how do you call it, the equation, that equation of x raised to power 2 plus 2x plus 1 all over x plus 1. That is the equation, and we were asked to simplify that expression or that equation. I have an error here, right? The error is saying name simply. I made mistake. All right, so we are going to go again. S underscore e equals to simplify. That's what I intended typing. Simplify open bracket e close the bracket. Right, now it has done that because it's not giving me error. So I believe that's a success. So all I need to do is to print it out so that I can see it. So I print out what I've just simplified. It says x plus 1. So that's the answer for that. All right, we will see you next time in another one. Welcome guys. Here we want to do the second part of it, which is expand expressions. In expand expression, first of all, as usual, we have to start Python in the terminal. So by typing Python, that does it, and we have to import the library that we want to use, which is sympy library. So I say from sympy import star. What that means is that I'm saying, hey, bring out everything that has to do with sympy. I want to use it. All right. Then for expand expressions, the only difference with simplified expressions is that it's just going to use expand then the equation. So we are going to use a different equation here, which is going to be what I will show you above. But first of all, we have to define the symbol. So x is equals x and y, x comma y equals open bracket, the equation is x raised is x plus y raised to power 2. It's going to be star 2. Alright, no, there is a mistake. That's not it. Define the symbol x comma y. I got carried away, sorry for that. Symbols, I went and did express to define the the equation first. So you have to be steady when doing it. Symbols x y. Why are we doing this? You have to define in using sympy, you have to define your symbols first before you try to define the equations. So that's the mistake I just did now. I went straight to the equations and the thing did not understand what I'm trying to do. So now I can now go to that step now. E, that is standing for expression. You can name it anything you want to name, even I. It doesn't really matter. Open brackets. It doesn't really matter whether you are spacing things here or you are not spacing things here. X plus y. That's Python for you. It doesn't really matter. Then star 2. Let's get that. Alright. Now E underscore. I can use E underscore E equals expand. That other one was simplify, but this one is expand. So if you are doing algebraic expression and operations and you are being asked to expand an equation, here we are going to use expand. Then since we are done, let's check the answer. To check the answer here, we don't run it, we just write print, then you put E, there was underscore E. The answer here is x raised to power 2 plus 2xy plus y raised to power 2. If you have been following up to this point, I think you should understand at least a little bit how it is going. If there is any parts of the video that you don't really get what is happening, you can still tell us in the comment below. I will try as much as possible to explain or let you know how it should be like. Thank you.